It's inevitable. We're all going to have something we need to fix. The question is, who's going to get it done? We've got an expert here going to talk about it. Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. Again, highlighting those in our community, making an impact, making a difference, and out there starting small businesses. Small business is the what makes the world go around. If you analyze that, even the big guys. I worked at Anheuser-Busch. We've talked about that. They still hired all the small businesses out there, and then they said, we're going to pay you in 90 days or 120 days. But the small businesses are the ones who really make the world go around. So with that, we've got an expert in the building, handyman. Tell you somebody who ended up. It's inevitable. I don't care where you're at in America, you're going to have the need for a handyman at some point. And with that, we've decided to have our buddy Justin. Let me put that. Is he slow? Where is it going over there? We're going to go with our camera number 2. There it is. Justin Bisher. Some people look at his driver's license and say, Justin Bieber?
I use it to my advantage when I can.
Well, he looks a lot like you should say.
There you go.
Right, whoever was born first. Brad Pitt looks a lot like the Cardinal Cowboy. Actually,
That's
Brad's
right.
a little older than me. It's pretty obvious, I think. But but Brad's a great guy. He's not from Missouri. He grew up in Missouri though. But where'd you grow up at? What you said you came out of Webster Groves?
Webster Groves, born and raised, sledding on what I think they still call Suicide Hill.
Suicide Hill,
which is probably being slid down today. Take firewood down there and have fires for the kids and still go sledding there myself. That's my backyard.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Well, as we talked about, when somebody has a passion for something, they might change careers. It sounds like you had a career path change, and you said, "Hey, I want to get out of what I'm doing," and was nothing wrong with that. What you love doing, but what led you here? How long ago did you start your work as a handyman? Did you start your own business right at the same time? Or?
I did actually. We kind of have a similarity. I had a trauma or a severe illness that hit me really hard. I lost 167 pounds in 8 months.
Oh wow!
When a childhood illness came out of remission, and I wasn't able to keep a job and wasn't able to work during that time, and then had to reinvent myself. And I suddenly was in the best shape of my life, and went from there into what I was passionate about, and that was solving problems and coming up with creative solutions for people.
So how long ago was it that you started your own handyman company? This is something you've been doing for a while now.
Yeah.
I've got on the screen there, I said 10 plus years.
Yeah, it's been over 10 years now. I started out actually on the landscaping side, so we do just about anything outdoor, solving problems for people as well. But then in the winter times, nobody wants to be outside, so I would, at the time, way back when, I was doing kind of odd jobs and picking up inside work. And then there was an explosion in the real estate market where everything was kind of being bought up by investors, and they needed people to change light bulbs and fix stuff and do make-readies. And so we started doing a lot of that and helping landlords get their, after a tenant moves out, getting it make-ready and doing the punch lists and inspection corrections and working directly with the inspectors of the municipalities to make sure that people pass so that the tenant can get in or the house can sell.
Yeah, well, how often is it the case? And I'm guilty. We have a property down in Fayette, Missouri. We've mentioned a few times on our show, if you've watched any of our past shows. And boy, I'll be on the phone or texting, Jose, I need this. We have this. We have pipe, plumbing, electrical. A raccoon, they say, is in the running around in the attic. They can hear little. We took care of it. The raccoon's not still there. I mean, I think it ended up being a squirrel. But bottom line is you've got to have somebody there that can handle this stuff and has an aptitude for it. Because how many people, and this we'll get into this a little bit too, but the handyman versus the do-it-yourselfer. I can fix that myself, and then they try, and then that's when they call you and say, Justin, we tried. didn't work.
That often happens, and we actually have customers that sometimes it takes two people to do a job, and they may be a DIYer, but they need an extra set of hands to put in a shower door or things like that. So we're unique in that we'll work with people, whether that's coming in and fixing problems that ended up being a little bit bigger than they imagined, or whether that be giving them that extra set of hands for a two-person job. So we do a lot of online assistance with people asking questions on the different Facebook groups and forums, neighborhood groups, where we're working for free and just giving people advice oftentimes, which always is worth it. It's a passion of mine to help people out.
That's a marketing strategy that they actually have. I think they've kind of diagnosed this as part of it. It's a physical marketing strategy. Help other people, offer some support for no cost. But what does that help people to do? To get to know you, to understand you're there to just help, not just trying to make it a buck.
Yeah.
So has that worked out for you then?
It does. I just had one this weekend where I was snowed in and not going anywhere, and giving people advice online about. I had a woman who her HVAC system, and I'm HVAC certified, wasn't performing, and her cats were cold, and she couldn't get her pilot light was out on her fireplace. And so I just gave her all the advice on what to do to make the HVAC system perform at its best under the circumstances, and then video chatted with her on lighting her pilot light.
Okay.
And in that response to her, I had 2 or 3 other people who were like, "Okay, because of this answer, I'm going to be calling you." And it wasn't even her. But people remember that. People notice when you're a good neighbor. And that's an important thing to me. Neighbor to me is everybody. Everybody is my neighbor. If I'm driving next to you on the road, or if I live next door to you, it's no different. We're all neighbors, and we all are either helping each other out or holding each other down.
Yeah, there's so much that goes on in our community. St. Louis is known to be such a very tight-knit community. What high school did you go to, right? Mm-hmm. And then you kind of take it from there, but we kind of assimilate how we know each other. But the other point of that is that you better treat everybody nicely, because and the word will travel if you don't, and
it's true,
because it is the biggest town in the country. It's not really. It is a city by definition, yeah. I think, but a lot of people consider it to be a small town with the way we all communicate and relate to each other. So, with that, so 10 years doing this. When did you? I mean, this is when you started on it. Did you say this is the full-time path I'm going at, or was it something you were doing temporarily to feel it out, or?
Well, with my health issues at the time, I was just trying to find something that provided an income, and I was doing landscaping because I had a mentor who was teaching me in that. But then, winters, I didn't want to put a snowplow on my truck, and it wasn't snowing all the time every winter. So I was looking for something that I was passionate about. And I like problem solving. I like problems that don't have an off-the-shelf solution, problems that don't, you can't just go buy a part and replace the part, but you sometimes have to build the part and customize it for the person. And that works well with my neurodivergent brain. To be able to think outside of the box and come up with creative solutions for people.
Well, I like the other side that we're talking about here, because it's rare I find somebody, and there's been a few guests that have mentioned it. I talk about my coma and what I went through, and then they share, well, I went through something traumatic too. And what I like most about your story, and it seems to be a recurring theme for most people that come in here, because we're talking business, is they didn't just become a victim, if you will, to say, oh, woe was me, and I'm never going to be able to do anything, and they told me that I should just give up on life. Because I had similar doctors were telling my parents they were going to take care of me for the rest of my life, and some people still question that part. But you found a way to make it, and a resource and a way to provide for yourself and still be obviously very functional and contributing to our little planet.
Yeah, and I actually struggled as an autistic person, as a neurodivergent person, even prior to the severe illness. I really struggled with fitting in the corporate environment. I was always the loud person in the room. I was always the person who stuck out. So being able to work for myself had advantages aside from the health issues and being able to make my own schedule and go to doctor's appointments and tend to that. But it also worked well with my personality traits, and I always kind of when people ask me what the most common tool I use is, I say my autism. I see the world in a different way, and when I come into a problem, I'm able to see it from perspectives that other people aren't always able to see that from. And so I like to say that I turned my disability into superpowers. Noticing every little detail, hearing every little sound, all the different things that are characteristic of autism or attention deficit disorder, I turned into my strengths, and it has really served me, and seems like it served my community well as well.
Well, I like what you say there, because I work with a number of kids and done some events, and I talk about the fact that the kids and others and people like myself, but boy, some of these kids have gone through unbelievable situations. And one of the kids, I was walking her down the red carpet for the Night of Superheroes, and these kids have superpowers. They literally do. And you found a way to channel your power, your what you call it, autism or
neurodivergence, autism.
Okay.
I'm old enough to where that it's changed so many times.
Okay.
That I used to have a stack of diagnoses that were out there, ADHD and all the different titles, and then they consolidated them all down to autism. My favorite one was ODD. I was literally diagnosed as odd, which is obstinate defiant disorder is the term. But that just meant, and how it applies to me nowadays is that I'm obstinate, I'm stubborn, I defy the odds, I go against, I don't give up. When others are like, oh, well, there's no solution, we can't fix this, that's when I jump in and get invested, and I'm like, all right, well, we're going to create a solution, and we're going to solve this problem, because there is a solution, there is a way. Just because you can't see it, maybe you need to be in a wheelchair to be at the right height to see the problem. Maybe you're too tall standing up. So I definitely approach things from a different perspective than most, and it's served me well.
Well, that's the approach and attitude we like to see people take towards life, because it's inevitable. And I make the mention that, how many people, they haven't been through a tough situation. When they run into one, they're not going to know what to do. But those of us who've been through things, the comas and what you've dealt with over your life, you found a way to get there anyway, and very helpful and happy about the way you get to contribute to our planet too.
Yeah, and oftentimes, it's a panic situation when you come into somebody's basement and there's water squirting everywhere, and you're knee deep in water because a pipe has burst, and that can be overwhelming. What to do next? And with the way my brain works, I get very calm in chaos, and so I can just, all right, well, let's find the water shut off, and I can shut the water off, and the handle breaks off in my hand, and I'm not freaking out, because I'm just going to go to my truck and grab the tea and go out to the street and turn it off at the street. Just not, perhaps it's all the chaos that I've experienced in life, or the traumas that we've experienced, that allows us to go into situations and not be overwhelmed by them, and not be stymied by them, to use an old term.
Well said. I like the way you're just that attitude. You're going to get it done, make it happen, and find a solution. And that's what we need more of on this little planet. Too often we find excuses rather than solutions, and so that's not going to be an effective way for all of us. But with that, I'll put up on the wall here, you do have that A+ rating from the BBB, and that's authentic. You've earned that over time. How does it make you feel that, to have a company that's put their stamp on you or not?
I'm very proud of that. That's an organic rating that I have, because of my passion and belief in customer service. Let's be honest, in the trades, people who are skilled at doing tasks and trades aren't always skilled at dealing with people. And so you have some very smart, very good, accomplished people out there that are good at what they do, that just can't interact with people in a real functional way. And that, in part because of my autism as a child, and having to study and learn why people react the way they react, and why they see things the way that they do, it's enabled me to relate very well to customers. And I think it's the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. He talks about, in any situation you can look at a person and say, well, if I was you in your shoes, I would feel exactly that way. And that's not placating people. That's authentic. Clearly they feel that way because they're in that situation and this is the life that they've had. And so being able to approach a situation and see things from people's perspective and have that element of customer service is really important to me. I'd rather have a good customer service experience than a fat check from that customer. I'd rather them leave happy and than me leave, with extra money in my pocket, even if that means sending them to another business or another vendor who's going to serve them better. Their experience is what matters, and that's how I've generated the following or the ratings and the word of mouth advertising that I've gotten.
Well said, and we appreciate the dedication you have there to make it happen, because so many people come into much less hurdles and crumble, and you've made it very successful and to the point where you're comfortable and have a good lifestyle and are doing good things in our community. With that, everybody, we're going to share a little bit about what we're doing out in the community here. We're at the Cardinal game not long ago. Check out what we had, a little discussion with somebody we got to know. Check it out. All right, everybody, we get to hang out with a lot of cool fans. Logan and I have become buddies here over the last, it seems like a really, really long time.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, it's coming up on it.
But the restaurant world, you get to meet all kinds of fun people. What do you What do you enjoy most about Cardinals and the Cardinal games?
They're always exciting. They're always beautiful with the backdrop of the next city and everything. They're always fun. They're always electric. So it's always a good time at the Cardinals games.
You think that the Cardinals bring that positive energy? It's just something to help people understand and be entrenched in the whole St. Louis spirit. I mean, it seems like it's formed around the Cardinals. When you and I were talking a little bit the other day, you sent me a text like, where should we sit? What do we get to? We're all connected that way. You get your friends that are Cardinals related. You got a friend, somebody you can talk to and talk about the fun stuff.
Absolutely. No, it didn't even matter. No, I was sitting kind of entrenched in the Cubs over there, and I know there's a little bit of rivalry, but it was all fun spirit. Everyone had a good time. It was 100 whatever degrees today, it felt like, but everyone was sweating together, having a good time, watching some good baseball.
Well, there's nothing better than watching a Cardinals-Cubs game right here at Busch Stadium. Can I ask who you were cheering for?
I'm opposite the Cardinals. They didn't pull it out, but it's all right. They'll get them next time.
Smart man here, everybody. Hey, stay tuned. Cardinal Cowboy, get up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner, to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com. And if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So yeah, media. Magnetize your media. Pick up our book here, everybody. This is the book, Magnetize Media. It's the #1 seller on Amazon. Yours truly wrote the introduction here, the foreword, and it's turned into kind of a guide that I can tell you there's lots of great tips in there. And these days we have our cell phones at all times available, so we can pull up and document what we're working on to make the planet a little bit better place. Give me a quick breakdown of your cost analysis, if you will. A lot of people, there's always the do-it-yourselfers. I'm guilty of it myself. I've got a little bit of an aptitude for that. I'm not good at much, but Dad kind of taught me all the geometrics engineering. That's the way his mind was. But what are you really doing to help save somebody when they hire you versus doing it themselves, or are there other alternatives?
Yeah, great question. So where we really are an advantage to a lot of people is that we are do it all. There's, other than when specific permits need to be pulled, we can pretty much do anything. So instead of having to call an electrician, a plumber, and a carpenter to come out, and as we all know, people's time is money, so you're going to typically pay a service call fee for any tradesman that shows up to work. And so instead of paying 3 service fees, you can pay 1 and have a honey-do list, as we used to call them, or a punch list of all the different things that you need done, and we can come in and change out a ceiling fan, unclog the garbage disposal, unjam it, and then we're going to go ahead and take the time to show you how to use the Allen key and where the reset button is on your garbage disposal so that you can be empowered as a DIYer, because the more people know, the more people are empowered, the better. I've never understood in the trades, and I've worked with people who, I don't want to teach this guy that because, it's my job security that I know that. And I am a natural born educator, and I feel like that knowledge is power, and the more empowered people are, then the more confident they are to call you when they need you, rather than risking messing it up themselves, because they'll know the extent of their abilities and have that that knowledge of what they're comfortable with doing, rather than just being scared of everything and then I get an extra $100 out of the deal.
Yeah, again, back to a strategy I think that it applies is you help them with some of the things, and then when the big jobs come around, they know who they go to, versus the guy says, no, I'm not going to teach you that. And you say, well, I'm not going to, they don't consciously think that at the time, but they think about it when they come back. You go, well, don't call that guy. He wouldn't help me.
The other thing that happens is when you empower people to do things, they often figure out that they don't want to do them. It's messy to stick your hand down into a garbage disposal. It's scary to stick your hand down in a garbage disposal. Make sure the power's off, folks. Right. But when you empower people, it's a win for everybody. It's a life passion of mine to always be prepared. When my daughter was being born, I had this obsession with being prepared, and ended up getting certified through FEMA and 20 different certifications, and I have an emergency store of food and water at the house. I wear these are Leatherman. This is a toolkit that I literally wear on my wrist.
Hold that up so people can see it live.
Yeah, it's
cool.
Each link on it is a set of tools.
Go ahead a little higher so people can see that.
Wrenches and Allen keys, and you've even got a seatbelt.
Hold it right in front of your chin, and people will see.
All right, you got a seatbelt cutter right here.
A little to the right, to your left. I'm sorry, to your left. Sorry.
So you got a carbide glass breaker and a seatbelt cutter for emergencies, but then you've got a bottle opener for those kind of emergencies. And this is you can put a socket on there. It's a 1/4-inch socket driver, but you've got Allen keys and different wrenches on here, and I wear one on each wrist so that if I am in a situation up in an attic or whatnot, I've always got tools on me that I don't have to climb back down and go and get them necessarily. And then, of course, you keep a full-size Leatherman on me. I'm not sponsored by Leatherman, but maybe I should be. I am available if they want to reach out. But yeah, always being prepared is something that I really believe in, and so empowering my customers and my clients and my neighbors to always be prepared is something that I'm passionate about.
Wow, everybody, true sense of a handyman here. Literally like carrying the tools in there. It's a nice, cool bracelet. That's all I thought. But you look at beyond that, it's actually got all the kinds of tools that you need. Up into a ratchet?
Yeah. I actually tried to wear a set of sockets as a necklace for a little while, and it just jiggled around too much. It was a little too annoying.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, I keep pretty much a full set of tools on my wrist.
Hold on, everybody.
That's right. Like Inspector Gadget, only hopefully not as clumsy.
Right. That's incredible, and it looks like you've got a wonderful perspective on life also to make that all work. Well, then tell me, why would you recommend somebody hires you? What kind of sets you apart? A good heart, and you truly like to help people, but tell me more.
I think probably the most important reason is that I'm very direct, a straight shooter. If it's not something that I'm comfortable doing, or I think that there's a better vendor or person out there, or that person could do it themselves and save money, then I'm going to empower them to do that. Being able to be honest with people, being able to say, I don't know, let's figure it out together, is something I really pride myself on. And I think that a lot of people who want to be classified or consider themselves an expert shy away from saying, I don't know, I've never encountered this before. I work in a lot of century homes, 100-year-old homes, 200-year-old homes, wow, where the person who built it definitely isn't around, and people who knew how it was done may not even still be around. So sometimes that knowledge is lost, and we have to rediscover it or recreate it or come up with a new modern solution. And so that's really one of the things that I enjoy, and why I prefer handyman instead of being a contractor, because I have a lot of contractor friends, and I respect contractors, but most of them wear shiny shoes, and I like getting my shoes dirty.
I like it. Well, if you would like to hire Justin here, we're going to put up on the website. It's pretty straightforward. I like the fact that you make it simple. Your website is to the point, kind of like you say. You like to be to the point. But if you go there to hirehandyfix.com, it's there, as you can see that on our screen there, but I'll take that off so you can see. Here's the website, and it's just as simple as clicking the contact button and fill out the information here. Or better than that, and there's the phone number, you can call Justin directly here and get a hold of him with a text message, with an email.
Yeah, phone calls, text messages.
The texts are probably one of your most efficient ways to get.
They really are helpful. People being able to send pictures of what's going on is helpful. We respond or strive to respond 24/7, 365, and that's something that I'm passionate about, is being available when if somebody's in a crisis. They don't want to wait till business hours to stop the water from spraying in their house, or to deal with that raccoon that's in the attic. I've got a client right now that the raccoon has tore their way into their attic 3 times now.
Oh, wow. Stay tuned for more, everybody. You're watching the Your Little Castle Show.